For your movie be akwaba na memfounder mega TV and platform we eswo Edem Agbana Ketu South Member of Parliament Sansona Solomon Owusu senior member in the movement for change Yura Alan Kojichamantin the party no. In fact omo edin sembi atuda na titire Solomon Owusu ochiremu nensin according to Dr. Alhaji Bawumia aspirant Edmund PP flag bearer ship raising no. Owura no ensem bi okoke kan ochiremu wato 300 pickups plus what you say 300 plus pickups and odi am party ma into munjina so no mumfa meyi no as flag bearer busia sa nsem we and Solomon Owusu say ono one ne nkrofo binom aye ready so mo de Bawumia court o mechire baby kura unyaye se sika no because he presidency any vice presidency kana ye kamboma wontimi nto sa pickups and si anso ene ofira ban mu enyanche ndi wan yakra nti ombra no mechire baby unyaye anasi baby a onya se sika na o de to sa pickups no abusia yenti nse ni bi ne ekoba ibeto aso.
I'm the party, you're in trouble.
It is going to be a party. No, it's already going to be a party. But let me quickly address this issue. This morning, they have exhibited indiscipline. Your station meticulously gave us a topic. If they have activism to come and do, they must wait. They cannot come and choose a topic here and then run with it. If you don't take it next time, you bring a topic on road, and by the time you realize you'll be discussing prostitution on this platform. That is the first point. I'm very happy that my brother Zato ended with transparency, that we must enforce the laws. Very important. We have enough laws to govern or regulate our political funding activities. Many a times, if you listen to everyone, what seems to be a mystery is those that are contributing towards our political or funding our political activities. And you rightly said it, the biggest spenders are the ones winning. And must it be the case? So, thankfully, in recent days, we have heard the former flag bearer of the MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, graciously give us an information that he single-handedly donated more than 300 brand new Navara pickups to the New Patriotic Party. For me, it's an enough information that all of us know the salary of a vice president. And we know that if he decided not to even take a cedi from his salary for the entire 8 years, and even the period that he was working at the Bank of Ghana, he could not afford the 300 plus Navara pickups.
From his own pockets.
From his own pockets. So if you take it that I'm in the transport business, on the average, a brand new Navara plus duty will not cost less than 60,000. If you take it as 60,000, and then let's even use the base figure of 300. Don't let us go into plus. That means he donated $80 million to the MPP campaign. Now, what must we ask him? Was it a case that this money came from his pocket? Was it a case that he was helped by friends or his network, as you have been told? There are no answers. So to help deepen our democracy, this morning when I leave this place by 10:30, I am submitting a petition to the Office of the Special Prosecutor to help us in this regard. That we go in to find out who helped him to, as it were, donate the 300 plus Navara pickups, so that it does not become.
As in, you're petitioning the OSP to investigate that donation done by the former vice
president. He himself willingly gave us this information. Willingly. For the first time, he has been so charitable, giving us this information. From there, I'm going to petition also on Brian Champon. He was saying that he gave $1,500 to each of the executives. Ken Japan also was making reference to some money. No, we have to let the system work. People get away with a lot of things because we have the laws, we have the institutions. And in this country, we are quick to identify the problem, but nobody wants to ask it to make sure that we deal with the problem. This morning at 10:30, I, together with the Bobakman and lawyer Pia Dankwa, we are going to test the laws of the land to make sure that the former vice president comes out to explain to the people of this country how and where he got these 300 plus Navara pickups that are brand new in nature, and as to whether or not these were not aided by foreigners who are not supposed to take part in our body politic in terms of funding. Now, to buttress that point, is very dangerous and serious, and people have been seeing it. Somewhere on the 20th of August 2024, in some few months to the elections, the New Patriotic Party, by its General Secretary, issued a power of attorney to one Miss Nanadwa Ose Akoto. And I have the letter here. If you want to project it, you can, but I'll read it for you to hear and see what we are doing to the people of this country, what we are using our politics to do. It says, Your Excellency, appointment as Special Envoy, we greet you for and on behalf of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, the ruling party in Ghana. We also take the opportunity to appoint you as a Special Envoy of the New Patriotic Party with a power of attorney from us. As a Special Envoy, you are mandated to negotiate. I'm sure you are listening. Negotiate and deal with all manner of principle and aligned, emphasized personalities and solicit their support in matters which are considered paramount in the interest of the party. In particular, you brief the dignitaries on the political process in Ghana, the effort the party is making to consolidate the positive gains of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia-led government, with special emphasis on contributions geared towards maintaining power in the oncoming general election on the 7th of December 2024. We trust in your ability. I understand this letter or document that was given to this lady led her to solicit for more funding.
I mean, we have not seen that letter.
I can make it available to you. Yeah, I have it here.
Yes, it, yes. To authenticate it.
Yes.
The point you are making, I'm making is forming part of what you are asking the agencies to look into.
Yes, I mean, that's why we'll be petitioned separately. I mean, but what I'm saying is that as a political party, you cannot give a power of attorney to a Ghanaian to be shopping around the world when you know that your political parties are 2000. Section 2324 makes it clear that non-citizens of this country are not supposed to take part in the funding of our political activities.
Okay.
That what are you insinuating? Especially when your letter does not specify. It says you should deal with every principal, and every principal could be a foreigner or a Ghanaian. So we need to go into such matters. This is not to say that the said lady or envoy went in for money from foreigners, but to help shape our political discourse. In the same way, the petition that we are doing concerning the 300 pickups is not to suggest that the vice president dipped his hand into the pocket or the coffers of the state, but just to bring matters, clarity to matters. Now, we are monetizing our politics without people speaking against it. And it's unfortunate that the only reasonable example that you could lay hands on always has to be with the MPP. It's unfortunate. If I had documents to prove to the fact that the NDC was doing that, I would go straight. Because you see, we were sitting somewhere. Once again, Engineer Adenimo. You know Engineer Adenimo? Yeah. His reason, one of the reasons for withdrawing from the MPP's presidential primaries had to do with what? Money. Money. Paragraph 4 of his letter states that the unreasonableness of the fees that have been charged, which is 4.6 million. For the information of your viewers, 4.6 million is 46 billion old cities. That is billion makungwa 46. If you put it in a chop box, it will be over. This New Patriotic Party is saying that they should come and pay the money before someone could be the flag bearer. Now, I've been on a number of platforms with their communicators who openly argued with me that indeed it could never be true, including the director of communication of the party. So if you have a political party that is implementing a policy or a fee structure that its lead communicator is not even aware, then what are you talking about? And I heard from the Council of Elders boss or chairman of the Council of Elders, Mr. Hakman Osuajiman, lamentation 1-2. That why have we turned our party into a monocratic party? That he couldn't believe his ears and eyes that the party was charging 4.6 million Ghana cedis. And we are looking on concern. I'm happy Adam was enumerating what they use their money on. I dare say that if you want to spend, you want to spend. It's the reason why maybe some of us are not putting ourselves up for elections, because it's unconscionable for me to pay for your vote. I I wouldn't do it. So if that's the reason why you will not vote for me, take your vote. Excuse my language.
The great action plan is not going to get implemented.
No, but we are going to tell them. You see, we are going to speak truth to them.
Because the data shows that those who are spending more are winning.
No, but it's also not true. It is defective. Because you see, you cannot convince me that in election 2024, the NDC had more than the MPP. Are you able to convince me?
Yeah, I mean, I get that point, but in the context of the areas that they looked at, those specific constituencies,
that was saying that we are also political actors.
Okay.
It's not always those that have money that wins elections. In fact, people who have ideas, people who have integrity, they win elections. Okay. In election 2024, the party that people saw them to be credible won it. How was your money going to diffuse the minds or win the minds of people that were concentrating on galamsey, that you were destroying the environment? How was money going to change that? How was money going to change the perception of corruption? How was money going to change the fact that we have seen a president and his appointees who were behaving arrogantly across the country? Okay. It is the way we have given so much weight to money that is letting people behave like so. Right. We have to go back, let candidates have a message. Your message alone can take you far. Okay.
Let me wrap up with Doc on Zoom. Doc has been on for a while. Doc, any reaction to the issues that have come up, and you wrap up for me on this subject?
Yeah, so I think very important key.
Okay. I think there's a bit of a challenge to the connection to Doc. What I'm going to do is that I'll give you a minute.
Yes, a minute.
Directly.
So I just want to do three things. The first one is that there's an aspect of the report that I disagree with, which is the fact that they make the assumption that in most cases, candidates who spend more won. It may be in a few cases, because if it was about being very resourceful, there's no way I would have been here as a member of parliament.
Yes, Doc, we have you back. You were making a point just before we lost you. Hello, Doc.
I was saying that there is recognition, at least across the panelists, that we need a lot more transparency in our campaign finance legal framework, and that for me is key. If we accept that money or financial resources would always be critical to the survival of a political party and their ability to contest in an election, that's fine. Then let's build a more robust system that enforces the law and ensures that it's very transparent. Because again, for me, if I were running for office and someone gave me 100 Ghana cedis, I won't read too much into it. But if I were running for office and someone approached me with 100 million Ghana, it's a very different proposition. And want our democracy to be captured, even if it's not just those who are running for office, but those who are financing candidates and parties because they have deep pockets. What do they want in return? And what does that do, especially, for example, with our fight against corruption?
All right. Thank you very much, Doc, for joining us. Dr. John Osai Kwapon is a CDD fellow joining us for this discussion. And then you have 30 seconds more. The point you wanted to make.
So that point must be well established. That, I mean, if it was about having so much money, some of us will not be in parliament. God's grace, hard work, and the people believed in us. But again, you still have to make some expenditure. But it is not always about the one with the deep pockets. Number two, I wanted to give him the information that he shouldn't worry. The problem of farmers not getting markets for their goods, we are in the process of ending that. When you go to the National Buffer Store Company, and I will encourage you to interview the chief executive officer, one Mr. George Abredu or so. The gentleman is working so hard. Last week, I was on your platform and I complained about rice farmers in Ketunov not getting market. From last week, as I speak to you, he has been on the phone with me, engaging. We are in the process. They are doing what they call the National Food Reserves, where they are identifying warehouses and they are buying. So within this week or by next week,
that's
all the rice from my area. And they are doing that for maize and other things. The other thing I want to say, the big push project. My brother's MPP couldn't solve the problem in 8 years. But when you look at the big push roads, as announced by the finance ministry, the roads that he was mentioning.
So you consider he said it's on paper. He agreed to that.
So
he said he just wants to see it happen.
The problem they couldn't solve, who will solve it?
Okay, Doc,
you should relax.
One minute, you have some reaction.
Thank you. Maybe today that Adam has added his name to this cry for maize to the Sala area, maybe it will happen because the farmers people have been crying, it has not happened. So now the buffer stock, don't listen to me.
Use your common fund to buy from them.
Adam, you see the fact that when you I don't want you to say I'm being disruptive.
It's not fair. I give you a minute, no interruption.
I don't want you to say I'm being disruptive.
No.
Usually, look, today you and I are the gentlemen. This is the chief disruptor.
No. Listen to me. So Doc, listen to me.
You always do that. He's the chief disruptor. He's doing that. So this is the point. Chief buffer stock, don't listen to me, listen to Adam. He says, please come and buy the maize in Salaland. Come and give the good price and do that. They're not doing it.
I'm telling you that they are introducing what they call the national.
But they are not doing it. Don't say they are doing it. Please, that's not. I came on to. They are not doing it. Say they will do it.
Doc,
there's a difference. They are not doing it.
I give you a minute.
So I'm happy. I'm happy that he's saying it. So let's come and do it. Secondly, you see, I have chosen for very good reasons not to be skeptical about the big project, the big push, because see, we have been down this road. These roads I'm talking about, they have been commissioned. They have been commissioned by. Look, anyway. I don't want to be skeptical because I know what it means. Year of Rose did 30 kilometers of that road. Do you know how much the 8 years of the Mills Mahabad Vision did that road? Nothing. Year of Rose did 30 kilometers of that road from Nahadekui to Poloma. I don't want to do this because if I do it, it looks like I'm playing politics with that road. I don't want to play politics. No, you say you're going to do it and you answer this. 8 years. Mills Mahabad combined nothing. No, year of roads did 30 kilometers on that road.
Your mic is not working. Only one mic is working. Here's the mic.
Did 30 kilometers, and I'm giving you the specific from Nahadekui to Poloma. Year of roads did that. 8 years. What did you do? Nothing. So if you want to look at record on that particular route, there's a record and there's a record. Nothing.
All right.
Look, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to do the usual.
Okay.
For that route.
Okay.
Year of roads, they put something on the board. 8 years of you did nothing. Anyway, I want that happen. But secondly, Solomon, today I want to agree with you. Yes, do call for those auditions. Do. But my point then is, if we are all talking about accountability and transparency, why limit it to one political party? Why don't you add the NDC too?
I don't have evidence.
No. But what evidence?
Now your man is saying that he donated 300. So there's a point
so
of
what
reference.
I'm saying is that
if you talk to him,
no, I know.
No,
this is true. No, for this particular area,
he wants me to.
So all I'm simply saying is that. Let's not be selective when it comes to looking for transparency.
Okay.
So I will pray that you find a way to make sure that, in fact, all the political parties that contested account to the good people. That all the political parties that because there were, if you go to my constituency of Tumu, there were 2 pickups, but the NDC had a pickup, branded NDC. Then people had a pickup branded NDC, and we saw it all over the country. That means that all the political parties donated or purchased pickups for their campaigns. The point I'm making is that if you are seeking justice, let's seem to be fair. Let us audit all of them. Let us see where all their money came from. And then with the aim that we could learn from it, with the aim that we could reform the system. But if we are just seen to be asking one person to be doing it, then inherently we are building a bias into it. And it may not lead to the kind of transparency and accountability we want. So in the name of good governance, in the name of accountability and transparency, let's do it for all of them.
Okay, thank you. So I'm giving Solomon 1 minute.
So it's very simple. I would be the happiest person to take any leading member of the NDC who is perceived or who comes across telling people that I donated two pickups, 3 pickups to a campaign to petition the OSP to investigate the person. Here was a former vice president. You see, we underestimate certain things. He left office not long ago, telling delegates that he single-handedly, Toyota Ghana or Nissan Ghana cannot even import 300 pickups at a go. Now he is telling us that he single-handedly donated 300 plus, not even 300. I am being charitable to the campaign of the MPP. Now I have done the mathematics and told you that if we were going to take even 300 and then say that one costs $60,000, we are talking about $80 million. We know the salaries of vice presidents. We know his salary when he was in at the Bank of Ghana. So it cannot be that money came from his pocket just to enrich our democratic practice, just to make sure that our democracy is, as it were, safe from monetization. I am going to the OSP for him to better go and explain. When you go there and explain it better, would it not help his credibility? So you must be thanking me this morning. So you also take up the other matters with the NDC. Can I be taking all the matters up?
Yes.
All right. So
did I not mention candidate point?
In terms of the first discussion this morning, there are some messages that have come.
It's one after the other. A lot of petitions out there.
So far, Musa Abatwa, you make the point about monocracy, and you say you agree with Solo that it is indeed characterized by the MPP, whether in government or in opposition. The party has consistently monetized the political space. Another message here, okay, the others who also disagree as well. This one here, you say that the high cost of campaign funds is like selling a bowl of soup today. When a crown is bought with gold, it rules with a whip of iron. Such leaders drain coffers to recover costs, leaving debt instead of development. So that is what time would allow us for this first conversation. The second conversation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each person 2 minutes. I'm just going to ask a direct question. Please, Solomon says we should be very disciplined. Answer my question directly. And let me start with you, Doc. On galamsey, directly. Should a state of emergency be declared by the president? 2 minutes.
Yes. The Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference issued this statement on the leadership of His Excellency the President in the galamsey area. This statement is a serious indictment on the abilities of His Excellency the President to fight this canker. The Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, they are men of faith. The only thing they preach is faith, belief. But they are simply telling us by this that they have lost faith in the President. Imagine that. Men of God saying we've lost faith in you. They are asking for some very simple things. Very, very simple things that the President should do. And they are saying that. In fact, if you read this letter, the point they are making is that the President seems to prioritize money over lives. Money over destinies, money over health. They are simply saying something. The hour is late. Delay is betrayal. Now, not tomorrow, no later is the time to act. Your Excellency, please listen to this man of God. Because they have demonstrated, they more than anybody have demonstrated that when it comes to this, they are not partisan. They more than anybody else have demonstrated when it comes to this, they are not. When we talk about the state of emergency, there are some people that are trying to raise a false alarm using some inferior tactics that if there's a state of emergency, they will start shooting people. Like they make it look like the moment you declare a state of emergency, you will see a machine gun and they're just shooting out people like this. No, there are places and installations in this country. If you go there, they will shoot you.
Okay,
you know that, right?
Okay,
there are installations in this country. If you go to Bema camp, you can go to Bema camp, but there are places if you go there, you will get shot. The Jubilee House. If you go to Jubilee House to the wrong place, you'll be shot. The installations. A state of emergency says that I'm putting my money where it is. A state of emergency is a value statement. Okay. A state of emergency is a courage statement. A state of emergency is you saying that I am prepared to do any and everything. Right. We have declared state of emergencies in whole towns, in whole communities. Declared selective state of emergencies. But there's another proposal that I want to give His Excellency the President if he doesn't want to declare the state of emergency, my preferred. Declare the rivers that have galamsey as military barracks, military stations, and place military people there, semi-permanently. Okay. That's what you do. All the rivers, we talk of Pra and Cobra, there's a Pra, Cobra, Birim, Ofin, Ayensu. There are 5. Imagine you permanently state about 100 soldiers all the place. Okay, every week or every 2 weeks you rotate them. 2 minutes. These soldiers will be there to make sure that they please, whatever we do, we should not sell the destiny of our country for gold. Okay. That's what we are doing.
Solo 2 minutes.
So I'm happy that finally the MPP is coming home to join the movement on what we preached last year when they were in power, that they disagreed. First of all, the movement believed that there should have been a total ban on small-scale and artisanal mining for a year. Now, we said so with a view that when you ban it for a year, then we can do what we call reclamation of the environment. So important. They were also suggesting that we revoke all licenses that were issued in the last 15 years and start all afresh. Because what is happening in the system is that everyone claims it is doing the right thing, yet we are facing existential threat. So we suggested that. And then we were going to embark on what we call cooperatives, corporate management of these small-scale miners and so on and so forth. Be that as may, the people of this country voted for John Mahama and the NDC to implement that. The president thinks otherwise, that the state of emergency is not the solution. But there is some levels of hope at the end of the day. I have engaged the NIMOS people extensively to understand what really they want to do, because as political activists, it's not every day that you come and then bash them. But I realized that they have very, very positive programs that, when well implemented. The difficulty I have with this administration, and by extension the president, is that you don't fight this huge problem with just giving them 5 pickups and 5 million. That is a joke of the century. This huge problem, and the vanguard, the old administration, that they even expended more than 300 million and so on and so forth. What was the results? So the president, having assured us that he's not ready for the state of emergency now, must then now invest heavily in the NIMOS, so that they can go. I've seen their works. Now they are fighting. It's not a war. People that are in Accra that do not know. It's now a battle on the the Bonsa River, the Ankobra River. It's every morning I'm receiving update on it. How soldiers are coming into confrontation. It's so scary. Okay. And that the president must push the button a notch higher by investing heavily in the NIMOS. And those that are within this administration who are busily cutting deals with this galamsey, let's assure them that this country has a spirit. You cannot kill the future of the youth with your greed.
Okay, all right.
I will end it here. Why have you taken the time to? You gave him 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You gave me 1 minute.
I give you 3 actually. I give him 3 and I give it.
As a movement for change, we are moving things. You are giving me.
I'm actually tracking. Wrap up for me. Wrap up for me.
I think that I agree with the growing calls for some more radical measures in the fight against galamsey. But it's also important to make the point that in the last 8 months, under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama, we have seen a renewed commitment to the fight against galamsey.
That's not true. That's not true.
And
that's not true.
Oh, you see,
it's not true. No, it's not true.
I'm saying that
because the galamsey has gotten worse now than it was.
That because
that is a fallacy. The community level for the first time, Ghana Water Company Limited is shutting down. So the question telling you publicly that it is worse now. You have the Catholic Bishop Conference. So what can you say?
As we speak.
Yeah. All the forest now. If you say you are being selectively forest reserves, all the 9 forest reserves, all the 9 forest reserves that were overtaken, so listen, even Erasmus agrees with me.
So
you just gave all the forest to the illegal miners.
Remove that from them. Because you are.
Your microphones are off. Your microphones are off. What you are saying is not going anywhere.
Zato came here.
Adam, no, hold on. Your microphones are off. Adam, go ahead and make a point.
Adam was interrupting me. He didn't come
No, hold on.
No, where he came and said, he didn't say that I was giving it. So Adam heckled me. I never made my
all the 9 forests.
It was me.
It is a fact.
You see how you are
selective. It is a fact that is a fact that all the 9 forests that galamsey
we talk to Erasmus will tell you that nothing is working.
Before the NDC came into power,
your mic is off.
It's not going anywhere. Where he was
all of those forests. As we speak today,
They said if I want to enter parliament like you, about 4 million cedis. How? Cedis? Yes, 4 million cedis. If you convert it to dollars, why it's too small. The way you said the 4 million. Well, how difficult financially was getting into parliament?
Joe, let me say good morning to my brothers on the panel with me this morning, and to our cherished viewers across the world. And I want to spend at least a minute or two to talk about the big push projects, because I really was surprised that did not feature in the topics that we are discussing this morning.
In fact, we picked on it during the news, and we also did it on the call-in segment.
Yes, but I think it's important because the New Day program, I can tell you, is one of the most patronized programs, political programs we have in the country. And there are thousands of people who stay at home at 7 a.m. just to watch us before they even move out to fight for daily bread. And so it's important for us to discuss. Yesterday, President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, was in the Volta regional capital of Ho to cut sod for the commencement of the Big Push road projects. I was there, so I'm actually just driving in from there this morning. And Joe, yesterday's program gave hope to many of us that indeed political campaigns sometimes, or in most often, are not just big promises that politicians who make promises during campaigns, they get voted for, and we don't see commitment to fulfillment of those promises. Because the number of roads mentioned by the roads minister and also by the president as containing the roads that they intend to use our oil resources to fund that infrastructure, I think that is commendable. We must commend the president, commend the government, and commend the minister for roads and his deputy. Joe, when you look at the Aplau to Ho Road, that entire corridor holds potentials for economic transformation. And traveling between Aplau or Joje to Ho currently is such a difficult journey. Ideally, with a good road, it is possible to spend maybe 35 minutes, 40 minutes on that road.
Okay.
But currently, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours, and the road, that stretch is so bad.
Okay.
During the NPP administration, they promised us under the year of Road 1 and year of Road Phase 2 that they were going to construct those roads. And nothing went on the road. But today, in less than 9 months, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government have not only come to cut sod, but even ahead of the sod cutting, contractors moved to site and work has begun on those roads.
Okay.
That road in particular connects about 6 different constituencies: Ketu South, Ketu North, Akachi North, Agoti Meziopi, Ho Central, Adaklu, and many other communities are connected.
Okay.
There are many farmers along that road. And again, because the Akanu border, which is the major transit point for goods coming in from Nigeria, Benin, Niger, Togo, comes through the Akanu border, which is located in my constituency.
Okay.
That road is a very important economic road.
All right.
And I'm happy that we are committing resources to it. Again, you look at the fact that beyond the Volta region, we have major road projects going on in other parts of the country. And so we did not need a president to come and announce that it is year of roads. But I can tell you that every region, across all 16 regions of this country, under the Big Push programs, major roads are being constructed, other roads have been rehabilitated, and even town roads. Yesterday, the president mentioned a number of roads in my constituency and other constituencies that he intends or government has budgeted for. Look, transport is a very important aspect of our economy.
Okay.
Because it is what connects the various sectors. And so it's important for us to discuss. My prayer is that beyond these first 4 years of President Mahama, the next NDC administration will, in addition to roads, because by the next 4 years, most of the roads will have been constructed by President Mahama and the Honorable Agboja. And so beyond this first term, the next NDC administration will now add on the railway system and others so that we address the challenge of transportation, because transportation is a very important sector. And I will encourage you to delve deep into the Big Push program and let's discuss it, because we have seen a president and a government that has decided to put the resources of this country to good use. I mean, by going on the road.
We'll do that.
That's just by way of.
I agree with you. And I mean, earlier on when we were discussing it on this morning segment, I was making a point that in the last 3 months, I've gone to Western, Volta, and Ashanti, and it's interesting. All the main roads out of Accra, they are all under construction.
Yes.
They are not good roads.
Yes.
And so I can imagine it was very difficult. I didn't enjoy the journey.
Yes.
You can imagine if all these roads are completed.
Yeah. So the president made a passionate appeal yesterday that the whole country will be turned into a construction scene. In previous months or years, we saw the country was a crime scene.
Okay.
Today it has become a construction scene.
That's fine.
So we plead with drivers and passengers to bear with us that we are committed to constructing the roads and getting the roads in good shape. It may come with some level of inconvenience, but they should bear with us.
All right.
Moving to the issue of political party
the
financing.
question I asked was the 4 million. Was it too small? How difficult was it financially to get into parliament?
I think it depends. It depends on the constituency, and it also depends on who you are up against in a contest. I want us to be very, very, very sincere in this discussion. When you are running against a candidate that is not spending much, it is likely that you may also not spend much, because I tell my team that your speed is determined by what is chasing you. So sometimes you go for a political or an event, a social event. If your opponent is making a donation of, say, 10,000 Ghana cedis, even if you programmed or in your mind you budgeted to give, say, 1,000 Ghana cedis, in order not to allow
you have
such
to
a
find
huge
11,000.
disparity. Not necessarily. Sometimes you just want to either get closer or at least have what the candidate is doing. So it is important to have this conversation, situating it properly in context. Joe, the truth is that political campaigns in Ghana have become extremely expensive, very expensive. And if you ask me, the biggest challenge I faced in my journey to becoming a member of parliament, I'll tell you that it is funding. Finance, we have made politics simply to explain.
I want to understand the campaign cost.
Yes.
What are you spending on?
So you begin even with the internal primaries. It's sometimes in some constituencies, internal primaries are even more expensive than the general elections.
Yes, I can imagine your constituency.
Because especially constituencies that are strongholds. And so if you were contesting for parliamentary primaries in say Menchia on the ticket of MPP, you are likely to spend more in the primaries than you spend in the general elections, because the probability that the moment you win the primaries, then you are heading to parliament. And so many more people put in a lot of resources into the primaries. It is the same for Ketu North, Ketu South on the ticket of the NDC.
When you're starting out, what items are you spending
now,
on?
You start by consulting. We call it stakeholder engagement. You need to visit the executives. There are some past party executives who, they are no more even delegates, but they have influence on the process. You have to go and greet them. You have to go and see them. And I tell people that, Joe, let's have this conversation in a very sincere manner. That even our culture, that you cannot go and greet a chief, or there's a way we say it.
Yeah, see, I'm fine.
Exactly. And so when you go see those elders, those influencers, those stakeholders, you definitely will not go empty-handed. And it may be small, but when you look at the number of people that you are speaking to, so in my constituency, currently I have about 148 branches. So 9 times 148. When you go into every branch, there are stakeholders. Some of them you have to go to the chiefs in those communities. They are not delegates, but sometimes they have an influence on the process. And so yes, my target is Solo, who is a delegate, but I have to first greet his chief and announce to the chief that I am in his community to campaign. So you form a team. People will be going around. You have to send your message across and all of that. Again, when people are going into elections, whether at the branch level, because those people eventually are going to determine your fate. Some will come to you for support. At the constituency level, they will come to you for support. And so you spend on all of these things. So a lot of people look at the cost only with the assumption that the money is going directly into people's hand. Maybe you are giving the money to delegate. But in most cases, it is not even just that. Again, for many of the communities, many of the communities, as soon as you declare your interest or intentions, ambition of contesting, whatever challenges that the community is confronted with, they will come to you for support. So Joe, a community is building, or let's say even preparing a land or a ground for cemetery, they will come to you for support. Somebody has been admitted at the hospital and maybe the situation is critical. They need a huge amount of money. Sometimes the entire community will sit together and suggest that let us approach the individuals who are contesting, and everybody will have to give something a little and all of that. So you spend.
All of that is outside the logistics that you need actually.
Exactly.
Your cars,
so there are many.
Your t-shirts.
Exactly. I will come there. So I'm just telling you the items that are not directly involved with the campaign that we don't see. That's why I am thinking, in all honesty, that maybe the CDD's projections may be too modest. Because these are not even directly the logistical needs towards the campaign. You spend on the many other things, school fees and other.
So now how do you do it? So how do you raise the funds now?
Great. Before that, then we now go to the logistics.
Okay.
Motorbikes, because you are sending people to go campaign for you in all of these areas. You need to buy vehicles, pickups, sometimes 4, 5, 6. You need all of that. And t-shirts, you need to organize the delegates. If people leave their work, okay, to come and meet you. Sometimes they transport themselves because you may not be able to visit all these communities at a go. So you group them, or in clusters, you meet them in clusters. If they pick motorbike or pick a taxi to come and meet you, you will not just allow them to go like that. That is it. You need to give them transportation. So all of these things put together makes the cost of running campaigns very, very expensive. How do you raise the money? We know that per our system, the laws may not be sufficient in defining how to raise funding for political campaigns, because when you read the law, like you read, it's mostly about non-Ghanaians or foreigners being prevented or prohibited from supporting the campaign. But the question is, who regulates how Ghanaians also get involved in political party financing? So every candidate decides on how they intend to raise their funds. Some of us have been extremely transparent with how we raise funds. And that is why, right from the very day I wanted to go to Parliament, I never brag. And you never hear me say, I am resourceful because I have money. I'm able to produce this amount. I'm able to buy this car. I'm able to do A, B, C, and D. I will tell you that I have a network of friends who can support. So what I did, when I was running for Deputy National Youth Organizer, and I will share the flyer with you so you project it on the screen. My team came up with the idea that I have lots of friends and young people who look up to you, young people who are inspired by what you do, and young people who support the cause. Get them to contribute a little into the campaign. And so we developed a short code, and I can get the software developers to give you an account of how much funds we raised through that. People were putting in tokens, 5 cities, 10 cities, 20 cities, and all of that. Again in 2024, then I also had a fundraising dinner with friends. Organized my friends, some from the university, some from places I've worked, some in other networks, and they all came and they supported. And people made some donations of that nature. Then you also have a situation where, as a candidate, people will call you and tell you that, I see you are running to be MP in Ketu North. I know this may be little, but I want to support you with a motorbike. I want to support you with that. I want to support you with this. There were also people who were ready to make available their vehicles, maybe pickups, for the entire duration of the campaign, after which we have to return it and all of that.
Just hold on for me. I'll come back to you on so that you land still on the sources of revenue and raising the money for the elections. Let me bring in Doc now, then, so that before I come back to you, Doc. I mean, what I'm hearing, I don't think I can get into Parliament.
Thank you very much. I want to continue something he has started by praising the government on the initiative the president launched, is it last week or this week?
The big push.
The president ordered that the Ministry of Finance or Agri should purchase about 1,000 boxes of tomatoes to feed HSS students. I think the president did that because there's this almost a tomato glut in the market. Farmers were losing value, farmers were losing money. And so I think the idea behind this order by the president was that go inside there, offer the farmers a guaranteed price, buy it, use it to feed secondary school students. It's a very good project. I laud it. I thank the government for that. But my question is, why stop at tomatoes? Why stop at onions? Right now, as I speak to you, if you go to Tumu, if you go to Walanja, if you go to Saka, if you go to Chalo, if you go to Nablo, if you go to Basisa, if you go to Kunchok, if you go to any of the areas where the best maize in the world is cultivated, that is on Sesala land. I'm talking about from Lambuse, Sesala, where Sesala is wide. That's where the best maize in the world is. There's a glut of maize too. Last year by this time, this month in Sesala is called Banchane, September. You could sell 1 bag of maize and buy 1 bag of fertilizer. You could do that. And farmers do that. Farmers, they have a way of organizing these things. So at this time, they will sell the produce they have, buy the fertilizer, apply to the crop on the field, and still leave some to feed for the lean season. This year, a bag of maize in Tumu right now is going for around 380 cedis. A bag of fertilizer is going for almost 550 to 600 cedis. So you will need at least 2 bags of maize to try to buy 1 bag of fertilizer. What it means is that most farmers cannot afford to buy fertilizer. The prices of the maize is down. You could say it's good for consumers. But at the same time, the price of fertilizer is there. All the subsidy the government had for it is gone. There's no subsidy. So what farmers are staring at is to make 2 things. Should we keep this maize and feed in the lean season, or we should sell everything and buy fertilizer for the crop on the field? The government can do exactly what they did for the maize farmers, for the onion, for the maize farmers. The government can go inside, they give a guaranteed price for maize. What you simply do is just like this, say, look, I want to buy this amount of, because every secondary school in Ghana is Banku or Kenki, and Kolong, depending upon where you are at TZ. Every, the prisons, they eat the same thing. Every boarding facility eat these things. The government can go and do exactly, replicate this formula in Sisala West, other places, and help poor farmers out, because the farmers are suffering. Go also do a similar thing, because don't be selective in choosing that, oh, I want to help maize farmers, or I don't want to help onion farmers. I want to help maize farmers, I don't want to help tomato farmers. Help all farmers. Government, go inside there right now. The farmers will be happy. The farmers will praise you. The farmers will come and worship you, and it will be a good thing. So politically, it will be good. So I'm just hoping that the government replicates the same things and help these farmers out, because I was in Tumu over the weekend, and that's the biggest crier here. Wherever I go, in fact, the small fertilizer that went there, they shared it along Patrick. Look, don't do this.
No,
I got
news for you.
No, don't
it's
worry.
An information.
Okay.
So
let me also do this, and before I come the funding.
Okay.
So that was the number 1 concern. People
I think you've made a point.
No, don't do this. When he was making the point, you didn't tell him made the point. This guy spoke for more than 30 minutes. You didn't say anything. Let me just make the point. Secondly, so please.
Hold on, Doc.
Okay.
I'm giving you an information. The farmers are suffering. I just want to buttress that point. They are suffering to my need.
So let me give you information, then you tell them in your local dialect. Okay, no problem.
I didn't give you information. Secondly, when it comes to the Great Push, I want to thank you, and I think you are lucky. Your constituency people are very lucky that your roads have started. I'm happy. I use the same road. I use the Wa Heng Jeffrey Tumu road. And I just used it on Tuesday. That road has stayed the same way. So I'm happy that the big push has started with your places doing. The characteristics you were mentioning about your roads are the same on this road I'm talking about. 1, this road connects more than 7-8 constituencies. 2, unfortunately, all of them are NDC constituencies.
Which road is that?
Wa Heng Jeffrey Tumu Chuchulega to Navrongo Road.
Okay.
It connects all and almost all these constituencies I've mentioned are in this constituency one.
Good news.
Two. This road also connects, if you are coming from Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso to Ghana, it is the shortest route if you want to come to Pad. And most of them do that. 3, this road produces the best best meals in the world. Did I say that? If this morning you are eating banku, this morning if you are eating akple, this morning if you are eating kinky, this morning you are eating cocoa, likelihood is that means came from Switzerland. So this road, the economic potential of it, the social potential of it, the political potential of it is also huge. So I'm happy, and let me say I'm jealous. I'm jealous that your roads have been started first. I'm jealous, but don't worry. I also hope because apart there's nothing there, and you said yours
is here.
Yours even started before they went to cut the saw. That's also excellent. I'm just saying I'm jealous. No, it's there. I've seen it. Look, I don't want to be done. If there's one thing that I've decided not to be skeptical about, is a big push. I have it, especially with this road. I have 1,001 reasons why I should be skeptical. I don't want to be.
Your government couldn't do it, but I will do it for you.
You see,
Adam, I'm just helping you.
No, I don't need your help. Okay, I don't need your help. No, because don't let us do this. I don't need your help. I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
No, you should admit his government couldn't do it, but we'll do it for you. It's part of the big push.
Start doing this.
He will do it for you.
Hold on.
I'm just guiding. I'm just helping.
Do you know a minister called Aaron Hussein?
Yes.
Do you know a minister called Alhaji Ahmed Suleimana?
I know him very well.
Thank you.
But I'm telling you that it's part of the big push.
That's what I'm saying. This is government. So I get it.
Don't worry.
You keep doing it.
You couldn't do it, but we'll do it for you.
I'm happy. I'm glad. And I'm so jealous that your roads have been given preference. Your roads have been commission started. I've seen that. I'm also praying that, please, that this road I've also mentioned, the Wa, Heng, Jeffrey Tumu, Chichishilga Road. It's on paper, it's there. It's there. I've seen it.
But the thing was launched only yesterday.
It's there.
Adam, please.
I'm hoping that. I'm also hoping that we put the same importance, the same significance, the same energy, the same prominence to it. So that at the end of the day, and look, I've said I'm a big fan of the book push. I'm cheering for it, and I want to see this happen. If it happens and I get a chance to sit here, I will thank the government for it.
Okay.
I don't want to be skeptical about it. I want to pray that it happens. When I went to my consulted the gods, and the gods through a soothsayer, and they told me, take it easy. Just hold on.
It will be done, right?
Even the gods are in alignment. Route, I want to give some time, and see what happens. So that when that time happens, we will do that. So look, again, thank God you got yours. I hope ours also come, and I hope it's also done. Okay, we do that. and then the president hometown owned too. The Bole Bamboy road. You see, the Gonjas I also make a lot of noise. Their road is bad. That's the president hometown. You see, he didn't do his road. Okay, this was between me and the president. It doesn't involve you. Let's go. His home is true. His galamsey. He doesn't want to go there.
That's not true.
Again, I'm saying this.
There's no galamsey.
There's no galamsey way. In Northeast.
There's no galamsey in the president's hometown like that.
But there's galamsey in Savannah.
And Akufo-Addo behind his house. Behind his house.
Okay.
It was doing that. Don't let us go there.
I like the fact that he's a minister.
Let's move on.
You're not timing me. You're timing me.
On the president's compound, we are told them.
Let's go.
So you have to. So now on the financing.
Look. I think the problem is that. And I think I heard the researcher what he was trying to talk about. Campaigns are expensive. Democracy is expensive. There's this old adage that if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. The question, if you think democracy is expensive, you could say, well, try non-democratic rules and see what you get. We tried that in Ghana, we chose democracy. All over the world, in fact, if you're a political leader, all over the world, if you take to the liberal democracies of the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, leaders' ability to raise funds and not funds to finance their campaigns becomes a very critical factor. So when you're running for office, you need to demonstrate that you can raise enough funds to fund your campaign. Sometimes it is one of the things that is used to demonstrate how viable and how good you are. So the fact that we need a lot of money to run for campaigns is not new. The fact that candidates must raise a lot of money is not new. The problem we have in Ghana is that the reporting system and the accountability system, the infrastructure, the policy to guide it is the only problem. Not the amount of money to be raised. I have no problem with all of it. If you are raising a billion gazillion cities to raise, that's fine with me. It's how we report on it. Because in the United States, with the click of a button, you can know that this candidate raised $1 billion. When Barack Obama was running for office, he didn't have any. He wasn't a billionaire. But he was the first candidate in the US to raise $1 billion to run his campaign. Hillary Clinton followed with $2 billion, and now, because in the last elections, Elon Musk spent almost $500 million for the Trump campaign. They do. Here's the thing: you can click a button and see the reports. Who contributed what? 2, you can click a button and know what that money was used for. how much was used to pay campaign volunteers, how much was used for the media, how much was used for research. You can do that. So it brings a certain amount of transparency. So don't let us try to create this caricature that our elections are too expensive, and because it's expensive, that is necessary by corruption. I think when we do that, we are trying to. Then the question asks us, what are we trying to do? Are we saying the public should pay for it? I disagree with that. I disagree with the fact that the government should be paying you to run for MP. I disagree that the government should be paying you or should be sponsoring your campaign to run for office. No. The government has money. Let's put that money into education. Let's put that money into healthcare. Let's put that money into stopping galamsey. Let's put that money into improving our roads. I want to do that.
Is the cultural context a relevant factor in discussing? And I'm asking because of some of the items Adam says they spend on. I don't think in the US, if you are going to meet people, key stakeholders, you have to go with something just to.
We don't know that. But the point I make, okay, so I go to meet the Tumukuro, it's my father in Tumu, and I make a donation to the palace of, let's say, 10,000 cedis. I record it. 10,000 donation. It's a political activity. It's a campaign activity. You buy schnapps to go and greet the chiefs. You record. It's a campaign item. Just as the same way as if you order a brass band, you record it. So it's not that. The fact is, then the question, if the auditors now want to confirm, they can go to the palace and ask them, hey, did you receive 10,000 from this guy? So it has nothing cultural about it at all. It's what we need is knowledge. What we need is understanding. What we need is education. What we need is to have the EC and other relevance, sit down with political parties and go to. What I want to see is a framework. Let's say an auditing framework, an accounting framework, a form readily available.
Okay.
And then you say that every candidate, the moment you take office, we want you to fill this form. And in the US, they have quarterly reports. Produce quarterly reports. Look, the laws enforce the laws. It's not how much you raise. I want to make a point, okay? Think about it this way. You say it costs almost 4 million or to run for president, okay? Take in the last elections. Honorable Alan Chamanten ran the last elections. He got about 32,000 votes. If you take this money and divide among them, these are people who believe in his vision. These are people who can invest in him. If you divide this money among them, each one of them can easily contribute that money to the campaign. It mustn't come from his deep pockets, Solomon. It mustn't come from anywhere.
Okay.
He can easily get committed and dedicated people to contribute that money. In the same way, Dr. Bawumia got over 2 million votes. If you divide this amount of money by them, because these are people who believe in his vision, they can easily contribute 10 CD, 20 CD, 100 CDs, it will raise. His Excellency President Mahama got about 4 million votes. That is money that these are people who believe in him. Divide this amount of money among these people. So one, what we need to do to reform the system is one, improve our campaign financing laws, improve our campaign fundraising laws, improve our campaign reporting laws. In other words, bring enough transparency and accountability in the system. Because these candidates have followers. There are people who trust them. And these people will invest in their campaign. I think the idea is that whenever we raise this thing, we make it look like you must pull the money out of your bank account. You must go and get the money. No. If for everything, like he just said, he ran and won elections. I don't think his bank account is that big to have fun. No. But he came up with innovative and creative ways to raise this money. What we should do is throw a big light into those ways to then see who are these friends who were holding a dinner for you. Who are these friends who gave you this check? How much did they raise? So that today I can go to the Edem campaign, click on the line, and see his list of donors.
All right, sure. Let me come to Mr. Owusu now. And there's a part of the report where they do a bit of field work. And basically what they found, the various constituencies they went to, is that the biggest spenders won. I mean, I agree with him that it's not about how much you are spending. But if the biggest spenders are winning, it means that if you can't raise a lot of money, then political parties like yours, if you become...
Me, I have been telling you, some people for we know, corruption a bomb. Dibiameka, some people for we know, a banner catastrophe, she project can dream dear. A bomb what is a nokobwa, a docrom, a yom what is a chronic disease, crown crow. Enka, a sidang. Obey vice president of Sika Esen. Obey vice president of Sika Esen. Omotia Kapa, Menyesho say a month, obey 50,000. No, I am not sure. Because the last time I checked, now President Kraji somehow a year 25,000 to 30,000 BBSA a month. What did the matron say? Enti vice president, you know. Say Sika na obey, sebi. Udi bibe campaign, udi bibe kwa yase, udi bibe se, abusunya amukan sen, se ukrum, obeye niyama bibre, nti at the end of the month, now we're spending niyama bibre. But they see then, and a Dr. Alhaji Bawumia, etiminya se sika na. Otiminya se sika twitwiri die we. Utie Solomon wusu ni calculations na about $8 million plus. And this sika onya na waifa. Sankofo we eno mu fra ban mu nyanche yi no. Sankofo we eno mo sanka kire Ghana for say enyi de yen to abadon fa momo. De bia ya me ka kire me ho say MPP fo we no. They don't learn from their mistakes. Modinto aintisa. Enka ye pe bibi papa ati afiri mano. Ye pasem papa bi ati afiri mano a. Mo bie mano a ne mo betimi aka kire ya ne se yen to abadon momo na mo ba corruption you kind of corruption abanya in the fourth republic in the fourth republic abanya sebi wa bediswa corruption akoso pa ye kufado aban hwe dubu ahin case hwe kinofurata birim die wa bedi ntimi si Ghana ontimi ma hwe wuntumi die akonta mining anyo no nko bebre wo hwe national cathedral hwe the kind of corruption in it Bawumia na nkasa America na wasem no palugu dam sika no wagiedi wombreko munyanto one block ba kokora wa asase so one district one factory sika ni na watia so enti sankofo we edan omo ho eka kire say in 2025 yen san to aba momo in 2028 ya ayana menti ase I begin to ask myself say they think say Ghanaians just forget easily. What you say? Sebi enyema ben na nkoso okuruma na ada sebi atapatwa enyema ben na nkoso okuruma anda na nadu dankwa kufado eni Bawumia sankofo ye twa mo ho ka kire Ghana for say ye nto aba na momo no mo medi o man so the thing say Ghana for ye horo ye nim ekoyechi mo dwen say Ghana for ye da ye ndwene wa ho MPP aban etena so niema odi bebu oman ne kom taxes enko man bia de oje tax a odi yeden odi develop oman but the MPP aban betena so no moje taxes edi yeden edi yo mu hu yi no mo di bi to dan mama no mo di bi ware man nkofo no mo di bi tu kwan no mo di bi ko abuchire no chese omon gin oman ni yedi ho ombreko Ghana obeko baby nsu ni ho obeko baby suku adan eso sometimes bisa me ho sa adan and MPP for be yes okobeko baby no suku adan pavilion eno mutim na pavilion no ohwe nchansi ya eboso a ebe wa reho omo nso ti dan muso a dan no chese titi dan a ayese doti dan bi chese obadwen ho a wonti ase but sankofo we eyi sika sika echiche bi di mo yire omo mprafo eno mo case ene 2024 mo begini yenim so mo koye mo kande ni 2028 yanto abamom what the hell we MPP we Ghanaians we have what enlightenment and there is no way we will vote for MPP. There is no way Ghanaians will allow MPP to rule Ghana at this crucial moment. Chirawaju comment section. Ti way nsema Solomon Owusu edituja. Must also best subscribe to the channel. No. Never like, never share, na for you. Be a number one authentic platform. Negative macro. Bye bye.